Rome is burning. Not in flames, not yet, but in something worse. Silence. The streets that once carried 1 million people, hollow. The Senate meets, but decides nothing. The legions that conquered the known world are gone, replaced by foreign mercenaries who don't even believe in what they're guarding. And inside the imperial palace, a teenage boy sits on the most powerful throne in history, wearing a crown that doesn't mean anything anymore. His name is Romulus Augustulus. He's 16 years old, and in a few hours, a Germanic warlord named Odoacer will walk through those palace doors, take the crown off his head, and end the Western Roman Empire. Forever. 1,229 years of Rome. Gone in a single night. But what if it didn't have to end that way? Washington 2025. A classified simulation is running inside a DARPA research facility. The project is called Operation Eternal. And the question on the table is simple and insane at the same time. If you could send a small modern force back to the single most important night in Western history, could they stop it? Not conquer Rome, not rebuild the legions, just stop one night. So the analysts run the numbers. September 4th, 476 AD. Odoacer and his Herulian forces have already entered Italy. The remaining Roman defenders have either surrendered or defected. The emperor has no army, no allies, and no escape. He's alone inside Ravenna, the last capital of the Western Empire. The window is 12 hours. 30 Delta Force operators are selected, the best of the best. Men who've operated in Iraq, Syria, Somalia, and places that don't appear on any public map. They're given a mission with 2 objectives. Objective 1, keep Romulus Augustulus alive. Objective 2, neutralize Odoacer before he reaches the palace. If both objectives succeed, the Western Roman Empire survives the night. What happens after, nobody knows. The team leader reads the briefing. He looks up and says only 4 words. This is already lost. Then he picks up his rifle and walks to the transport. 30 men, each one chosen for a specific reason. The team leader has 17 years in special operations. He doesn't speak much. He plans, and then he executes. His call sign is Iron. The intel specialist speaks Latin, not classroom Latin, conversational, military, street Latin, learned over 3 years specifically for deep historical operations. His call sign is Scroll. 2 snipers, both qualified beyond standard special operations requirements. One covers distance, one covers close urban angles. Their call signs are Long and Short. A combat medic who's kept men alive in conditions that would make any surgeon quit. Call sign Stitch. 8 breachers, 12 riflemen, 2 comm specialists, 2 drone operators running miniaturized recon equipment that fits inside a Roman-era satchel, and 1 man whose only job is to stay next to the emperor and not leave his side under any circumstances. His call sign is Shatter. They arrive outside Ravenna at dusk. The city is quiet, in the way that cities are quiet before they stop existing. Iron looks at the walls. He looks at his team. 2 objectives, he says. We split. Now, the plan is built around one truth. Odoacer doesn't expect resistance. Every Roman commander has already stood down. Every gate has already been negotiated open. Odoacer isn't storming Ravenna. He's walking into it, calmly, confidently, like a man collecting something that already belongs to him. That confidence is the opening. Scroll approaches the outer gates dressed as a Roman courier. The remaining gate guards are demoralized, underpaid, and exhausted. He speaks to them in Latin. He tells them a relief column is moving through the eastern road and needs the secondary gate held open for 1 more hour. The guards believe him, because no one lies about relief columns that aren't coming. No one is that cruel. The gate opens. 20 Delta operators move inside in small groups, 3 and 4 at a time, spread across 40 minutes. They carry weapons wrapped in cloth, hidden inside merchant crates and supply bags. From the outside, they look like the last desperate traders trying to move goods before the city changes hands. Inside Ravenna, though, the picture is worse than the briefing suggested. Roman soldiers are sitting in doorways with no weapons. Civilians have locked their shutters. The streets smell like smoke from fires that haven't started yet, but somehow already feel inevitable. The city has already accepted what's coming. Iron whispers into his radio. The city has already surrendered in its mind. We're fighting ghosts. So Shadow moves directly to the Imperial Palace. The remaining palace guards are 12 men, tired, loyal, and completely unprepared for what's about to happen. Shadow identifies himself through scroll as a military envoy from the Eastern Empire, Constantinople, sending last-minute support. It's a lie, but the guards want it to be true so badly that they open the doors anyway. Shadow enters the palace and finds Romulus Augustulus in a small room at the back of the building. Not the throne room, a small room. The boy emperor is sitting at a table, reading. He looks up. He's not afraid. He's something worse than afraid. He's already resigned. Shadow sits across from him and says in broken Latin, "You are not done yet." Meanwhile, Iron has split 15 operators into 3 fire teams, positioned along the 3 main roads leading to the palace. Odoacer's column is moving through the city. Torches in the distance, the sound of boots and horses on stone. Approximately 400 Herulian warriors, experienced, battle-hardened, and completely unafraid. 30 Delta operators against 400 warriors who've never been challenged. Iron runs the numbers quietly. He doesn't share them with the team. The first fire team takes position on a rooftop overlooking the main road. Long and short separate, 1 per side of the street. The drone operators send their miniaturized units into the air, and on their screens, Odoacer's column appears in thermal imaging, a long snake of heat moving through the cold stone city. And then Iron sees the problem. Odoacer not at the front of the column. He's in the middle, surrounded by his personal guard, 40 of the largest, most heavily armored warriors in the entire formation. To reach him, Delta would have to go through the column from the front and the sides, simultaneously. Iron makes the call. Change of plan. We don't hit the column. We let it pass. The team doesn't question it. They've learned not to. We let them reach the palace approach. The road narrows, 20 feet wide. 400 men become a single file. That's when we take Odoacer. Look, it's a better plan, but it requires patience that feels almost impossible as 400 warriors march past Delta's hidden positions, close to touch. One warrior stops beneath a rooftop position and looks up. He stares directly at the shadow where a Delta operator is lying flat against the stone. 10 seconds of silence. Then the warrior looks away and keeps walking. Nobody breathes for a long time after that. The column reaches the palace road. The street narrows exactly as Iron predicted. Long and short find Odoacer through their scopes. He's tall, wearing a dark cloak, riding slowly, confident, almost bored. Iron gives the signal. Everything happens in 4 seconds. Both snipers fire simultaneously. Odoacer's horse collapses. The personal guard closes around him instantly, a wall of shields and bodies. Odoacer is alive, wounded but alive, and his warriors have no idea where the shots came from. The fire teams open up from 3 directions. The narrow street becomes chaos. Warriors trained for open field combat have no answer for suppressed rifles firing from elevated positions in complete darkness. The front of the column breaks, the rear tries to push forward and collides with men running backward. For 90 seconds, it's working perfectly. Then a torch lands on a rooftop, then another. Here's the thing, Odoacer's warriors don't know what they're fighting, but they know fire. They start throwing torches onto every rooftop, every window, every shadow.
It's coming
One
down!
Delta operator has
Get
to
back!
move. Moving means being seen. Being seen means the position is identified. 3 warriors charge the building. Stitch pulls a wounded operator back from the edge. 2 breachers hold the staircase. Iron keeps his voice flat on the radio. Shadow, status on the Emperor. Shadow responds, moving, south gate, 2 minutes. You have 1.
The southern extraction is the only clean route left. But Odoacer is still alive, still surrounded, and his warriors are now organized enough to start pushing toward the palace from a second street that Delta does not have eyes on. Iron makes the hardest decision of the mission. He leaves the fight and runs toward the palace himself. Shadow has Romulus moving through the palace's servant corridors. The boy emperor says nothing. He carries nothing. He left the crown on the table in that small room. Shadow notices, but doesn't stop. Iron arrives at the south gate just as Odoacer's second group reaches the palace entrance from the east. The 2 Delta fire teams covering the main road have pushed back the primary column, but ammunition is dropping fast. They can hold for minutes, not hours. Scroll finds Odoacer in the chaos, wounded, on foot, moving toward the palace through a narrow alley with 6 personal guards. Long takes the shot from 200 meters. Odoacer falls. This time, he doesn't get up. For a moment, the entire night goes quiet. The warriors around him freeze. A warlord who's never been challenged, never been stopped, never even been touched, is lying on the stones of Ravenna. The column hesitates. Warriors look at each other. Iron gets Shadow and the Emperor to the south gate. They move through the darkness toward the extraction point outside the city walls. 15 operators cover the retreat. The remaining warriors, leaderless and confused, do not follow. The mission is complete. Both objectives achieved. Romulus Augustulus is alive. Odoacer is dead. And then morning comes. By dawn, a messenger has already ridden from Odoacer's camp to the Heralian commanders. By noon, a new name has been agreed upon. A different warlord steps forward. Older, calmer, more patient. He doesn't march into Ravenna dramatically. He simply sends a letter to the Senate. The Western Roman Empire is dissolved, not by a sword, by a letter. Romulus Augustulus, alive and safe in exile, reads the news from across the sea. He folds the paper carefully. He looks at Shadow, who's still sitting nearby because the mission technically never ended. The boy who was emperor says quietly in Latin, "You saved me, but you couldn't save Rome, because Rome didn't end when Odoacer walked in. It ended long before you arrived." Shadow has no answer for that. Neither does history. Now, look, this is obviously a fictional what-if scenario created purely for entertainment. No time travel, no classified DARPA programs. Just imagination and history colliding. But here's the question I want you to sit with and answer in the comments. Could Rome have ever actually been saved? Or was the fall inevitable no matter what? Drop your answer below. Like the video if the mission kept you watching, and subscribe for the next operation. See you in the next one.